This segment of cars, modified tutorials, updates, gonna be a little more in-depth than the past ones because there is so much wrong with Wingo and the diecast. Even going to Thailand, they had some improvements for sure, but it lacked a very noticeable detail that has always been lacking, as you guys can see. So we'll jump right into this. This is all the updates I did to my Wingo diecast now, because I updated it, and I even did the one with flames from Thailand too, which is basically the same thing, but with a flame coming out the exhaust. I don't have a Thailand Wingo to show the updates to, but I think it's even just more apparent to show a Chinese version. So this is the impound boot chase from 2009 that I do plan to update one day, but I haven't yet. So good, I guess, use of resources to just kind of show where we are with Wingo. So we're going to do a little switcheroo right here. So kind of do a nice then and now sort of show. Now, this is the original Wingo, basically, just with the impound boot. They didn't change the expression or anything, so just ignore the boot for now. This one had a mouth plate too, and mouth plates were really disgusting because a lot of the times they did not match the color they put on the mouth plate to the main metal body, and that's very apparent here. You can just see how different these shades of purples are, and it doesn't look good at all. It just looks very weirdly conjected together. It just doesn't really pop. This obviously being one metal piece, it allows for everything to all flow as one. So I didn't do those updates, that's just Thailand, but I want to go over the China Thailand updates and then go into what I personally did, my modifications that I added on. And also just to show the side, this one just has a lot more of that orange flare going on, and a little bit of the transition to the purple, which almost makes it kind of, I want to say very red, it's almost like a plum. It's really hard to describe it, but you can just see it just goes a lot more thicker and it's bolder. These ones are insanely thin. They really do not pop out as much at all. It's just these ones are so much more prominent. They even hit certain areas better, so I definitely appreciate that. And they obviously updated the expression to look a little bit more, have a little bit more depth to it instead of just being all flat around the car. And on the back, this is what we're going to get to later, trust me, but those are just the main things that Thailand itself updated. But now we're going to go into my personal modifications on what Thailand didn't do, and I'll put some pictures up on the screen on the left top corner right there, so you can kind of follow along with where these modifications came from and where they are placed. Now, this is something a lot of people do not know, but even the Thailand version suffered from this. There is a little squared triangular section right here. If you guys can see that triangle bit that kind of gets formed because the purple connects, Thailand does not do that little square bit right there. I'm pretty sure they just do not connect the side to the front of Wingo. So this whole graffiti design is separate and then the front is separate, when they should have a connecting point right here. So you can kind of see right here the purple's ever so slightly different. That's because that's my purple that I added on, made it a nice connecting piece, and that obviously translated to making that green triangle right there. And this thing is really giving me a pain in the ass to focus. I'm going to put it a little farther so you guys can see a little better. But yeah, that's also present on both sides. I also did the very small black detailing on those vent bits to kind of give the vents some depth, so you can just see right there. Now this is a big one that I did. I just put a bunch of little dots to kind of resemble the multitude of headlights, little lights that pop out from the headlights. Wingo always has that in the movie. It's not just one or two. He's very much so a Japanese Tokyo import, right? So we have all these numerous headlights going on in the headlight area, just really just emphasizing the modifications to him. But yeah, I just made them pop out, not to necessarily shine, because this is just meant to be standard Wingo on the road, no lights popping up or nothing yet. On the side, I also just added a small little detail there of the little door handle that's painted in black that was always unpainted. Now, I know this is probably the main reason why you clicked on this video, because it is by far the most important part of Wingo that Disney Store has actually acknowledged Mattel never has, which is the entire spoiler detail. But not just that, guys. The back is full of these details as well. We have to just dive into this as much as we possibly can. This is why I felt like Wingo deserved his own video. I also plan to do a video just about the tuners collectively and their flame variants, because I actually have versions of them would have the kind of sort of, I guess, neon light aesthetic to them. Not glow in the dark, obviously, I'm not that talented, but just to like give off the impression that the lights are on, but almost in daytime settings, since you can't really give a nighttime light aesthetic to a car. You just gotta imagine if it was just in plain day, right? But point being, I feel like this Wingo deserves his own video. But when we get to the flame tuners, that I did update them all except for Snot Rod, we're gonna do them all collectively, and I'm really looking forward to making that video. But maybe I will try and get some other things too done down the line as well. So if we go and take a look at this Wingo right here, on the back, this is intentional, by the way. I know you're probably thinking, oh wow, that's funny, right above the license plate kind of makes out a W. That's not a coincidence, that's intentional. That's a detail from the movie. It says W, and it's basically that whole like diagonal sort of zigzag pattern, kind of continuing from the side here. It doesn't connect per se, but it's just an add-on, and it's so close in detail that might as well say that it does. I'm sorry, I'm really trying to get this camera to focus on me. Here, we're gonna try this, guys. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, stuff have to get done. All right, so we got, I also added small little details too to that tail light section, showing the little dots. More so like red lighting, because that's how it was in the movie. Obviously it has the closed off exhaust and everything, because flames aren't popping out. And we have just a bunch of different zigzag patterns. I will put the picture so you guys can just see a side-by-side comparison. I tried and get as close as I possibly could. I did spend quite a while on this when I was doing this. This isn't like a custom I can get done in like 5 minutes tops. Like, so much just attention to detail and just patience and very, very like careful nature went into putting each individual like part of this onto the back of the car. So it was real dedication, guys, and I was so nervous I was going to slip up a bunch of times. Now, something that you maybe or not noticed, so these ones are so intricate, the spoiler ones, that I started to just like blend. It was really hard to like try and make the individual pieces of green that still show up within the orange bits. So sometimes when I was doing it, unfortunately, like it would just kind of bleed into each other and I would lose that. So this is actually an entirely new shade of green, but I tried my best to get it to match the rest of the car so it flows pretty nicely. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but like the top didn't suffer from that. So this is like standard green. This one ever so slightly lighter, but I tried my best to get it to blend. I also did add the black dots, 2 on each layer on each side, because that is accurate. I can show you right there. I love the zigzags with Wingo. Like his diecast would be so much better, obviously, if these details were there. And honestly, the fact that it's lacking has always been just like really, I just feel like kind of shameful. And yes, by the way, I did make sure to connect it to the pre-existing design on the side. It does flow as a continuation. You can see how each of the end bits here, they actually just follow suit from what's already here. So this one kind of goes up there, this one pops up there, even this one all the way kind of is curving there. So it's really nice. And the top not as interesting as the sides. Honestly, I thought for a minute that maybe this was also trying to be a W, but that wasn't the case. So yeah, really interesting how that turned out. And the side here, if you want to see like just a quick side-by-side comparison with both sides, that side has ever so slightly different like just designs, because you can see this spot right here, it's like a bigger just splotch of that orange color, but it still does continue with the other designs. And this side obviously doesn't really have that, so it's cool. It's kind of asymmetrical in that sense with the spoiler. It's really nice and I absolutely love it. Do not ask me how I managed to work around the license plate, because that also was a pain in my ass. I just, yeah, I don't know. I really commend myself for this just on a personal level, because this was just like insanely challenging for me to do. And the fact that I have to do it all over again with impound Wingo eventually and hard Wingo is making me want to just go on a vacation or something. Let's just say that. And we have a lot more of these to show off, but this is mostly like just like a resemblance video. I want to show you guys like the best possible look to give your Wingo if you want to do these updates. If you're someone who just wants these accurate cars, they want to look as good as possible from the movie. These are all the updates I did. I just wanted to show you guys, hopefully give you some insight on how you can go about it. Let me know if you guys plan to do any of these updates yourself. I'd love to just, see any updates anyone does. I always appreciate when people go out their way to add details to their cars to make it accurate to the movies, because it always just shows me like you're like an authentic, person who actually admires and cares about stuff from the movie. So whenever someone goes to those finer details, I always just find that really awesome and respectable for sure, because there's some that I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to, but I plan to. But yeah, this is just a raw show of how much we've evolved, honestly, with the Wingo diecast. Even though this isn't a Thailand one, but the Thailand one itself just lacks all the back details. So come on, guys, look at this. I mean, can I even say much more than that? Yeah, we've been stuck with this, but thank goodness for, personal creative liberties to sometimes take over. So let me know what you guys thought of this custom little tutorial. Just let me know what you think of this Wingo in general. Any updates you think I could still make to it, I'd love to hear it, because I'm always open to updating my cars more and more to try and get them as close to 100% accuracy as possible.